From the Opelco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is an OSU Update with John Helsley. I'm Jenni Carlson. John, this season marks the 25th anniversary of Barry Sanders Heisman Trophy, and 25 years doesn't really seem like that long ago, but this is a totally different era we're talking about when it comes to Heisman Trophy, the hype and everything. Can you kind of rewind us to, just how different it was back then?
Well, it was very different. Not near as many games were on TV, and not near as many Oklahoma State games were on TV. And so you had a very different media. You didn't have the Heisman pundits. You didn't have the ESPN website with the ongoing who's the leader. It was just sort of talked about in some of the national magazines and, of course, locally and things like that. So it really took a real public kind of wave to get a guy's candidacy going. And
he was in Japan for a game when he was given the award. It's just so different than it is now. You've been a voter for about a decade. I have been too. Not going to this year, but we get all sorts of stuff in the mail, via email, Twitter, Facebook. It's really a lot of push for guys that are Heisman candidates now.
It is. The push nowadays is really out of this world. You get stuff, in August from guys you'd never heard of or about guys you'd never heard of.
Yeah.
And so it's very different, and consider this too. Barry Sanders really wasn't a name going into that season. He had been the backup to Thurman Thomas, had been an excellent return man, but had really not been a great tailback yet. Mm-hmm. But as that season went on, he really started to build momentum, and the numbers, his raw numbers, pretty much kind of catapulted him onto that spotlight.
It's amazing nowadays you can watch Presbyterian and Southwest Missouri State or whomever, and you couldn't see Oklahoma State, but those numbers just overwhelmed people, I think.
It is. It's the numbers. And then once people started to have a look at that, and he opened that season, the '88 season, with a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That's one way to get things started. But then as those numbers started, to add up, all the 200-yard rushing games, people started to take notice, and that was a good team. It was a very good Oklahoma State team, and when they played some big games, he was very good in those games, and that's pretty much how it happened.
Imagine the Twitter craziness if Barry Sanders were playing today. It would be insane every time he played. My goodness. And be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.